So welcome to this heart connection for today. So this heart connection is slightly different than the previous one. So we are trying every single week. We're gonna have the heart connection, and we will bring into intention of the conversations of what we're experiencing in a way that, let's say, the new moon, the full moon, or anything, the journeys or the cosmic energies. And in this way, that not only that my contribution is actually the collective contribution. So I would like to welcome Richard to this container because I haven't met you, Richard. So hi with that. And also Daisy, I have Polly, I have Kyle. So before we dive into checking with everybody and introduce everyone, I'd like to invite Kyle to open up the circle.
Thank you, Lillian. Thank you everyone for being here. And let us just settle in to our heart space. So for moving from our mind space to the heart through three deep breaths, letting the day go, letting any tension go, any worries, anything, just settling in to our heart of remembrance, and returning home to our heart. So calling in the highest and the purest frequencies, and calling in our ancestors, our guides, the caretakers of the land in which we reside, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, honoring our hearts from here, and for our hearts to connecting as one. So then as we move from that head space to the heart space, we're giving ourselves permission to just settle within the heart and to give our hearts that space to just rest here for a little while, to receive anything that we need. And then we're moving to our feet and feeling grounded and one with Mother Gaia. So our feet are going into the soil, and as they go into the soil, it's blessing the land, and we're receiving the nurturance from the land and giving great gratitude for Mother Gaia for all that she provides, and the trees for that clean air and supporting us in our breath. We're just traveling deeper and deeper to Gaia's heart, as Gaia's heart is one with our heart. Just keep traveling deeper and deeper to that nourishing soil, allowing the soil to just cleanse and purify us and to restore us. And then Gaia meets us with her wide open heart of that unconditional love and that compassion, as she loves us just as we are. And she tells us just to love ourselves just as we are. And Gaia gives us the biggest hug. And we're receiving her love within our heart. She just connects us more to our remembrance, to our essence, to all of our magical selves and multidimensional selves. We give great gratitude to her as we return back to our sacred space. So feeling the energy within your feet, your ankles, your legs, your thighs, the core of your stomach, your heart, your higher heart, your throat chakra, third eye chakra, and crown chakra. And taking 3 deep breaths as you come back to your body in the here and now, in the present moment. In the sacred space, now open. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessed be, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. So I'd like to welcome Richard and also Polly as the first time and in this heart connection. And I'm so grateful that there's new faces here. And normally we will talk outside in a way that in the Facebook Live, there's a lot of people respond. And to have people present in here is such a joyful feeling. Yeah, so I love like if you guys can, Richard and Polly, you can introduce yourself just in a simple way, like what you wanted to share with us. And then will be Daisy, and then Kyle, and then will be myself. So yeah.
I'm happy to say hi and introduce myself. And at this point, I'm not sure what to share, but I've been in California for a few years. I was I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. Life kind of was hard on me up until about 20 years ago. I'm a computer guy. I'm in the engineering field and a very logical thinker. And when I was married back then, a lot of things became very hard and difficult. And we happened to meet somebody who is an energy worker who was able to share a lot of ideas with us, which I thought were crazy at the time, and was able to well, my logical brain couldn't let it go, and I had to study further and further and get in deeper and learn what there was about energy and all of this flow. And I was able to start changing a lot of things in my life, both from diet to my thoughts to everything, to where I could suddenly feel there was intuition, there was awareness, and a lot of things, and I just wanted to learn more and more. And so for the last 20 years, it's been a journey of discovery, reading, and learning from other people, trying to bridge the gap of this deep, more real world that I'm discovering versus the physical plane that I've been so logically connected with since growing up. Learning things about undoing old belief patterns, learning things about discovery of what's, I want to say the word real, but I know that that's subjective to each person. So there's reality on a lot of different levels, and trying to find more and more deeply what there is out there. So it's been a fun journey to be able to become more and more aware, as I have been, as I saw some of you discussing in yesterday's experience. It's beautiful to see the connections that you have, the energy, the knowledge and understanding, and direct experience, direct connections that you have with these patterns, these don't know the words, anyway, there's a lot more. And so it's fun to learn and share with you. And as far as what I have to share, I obviously have some ideas and things that I've learned, and I'm happy to communicate my insights as the opportunities arise. But for now, I just appreciate you letting me join and participate. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. I can very much resonate with what you say. As a technology computer engineer, I'm from the tech world as well. I'm in the construction tech, the startup world. And I know how hard I work with a lot of software engineers. I'm in the older man world. I'm the only girl. I support my boss and my team, 140 people all around the world. So yeah, and I know it's hectic. Everything changed so quickly. And also they're also very tight on budget. Everything is just fighting. So yeah. So I know that you were talking about crazy. So if we put crazy nice, we are very concentrating on like focusing on the frequency of the word that we use. So crazy, so I say crazy nice, so become balanced. So yeah, just something that's all.
Crazy is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy is
Yeah.
so beautiful to me. That's another thing I've noticed is the way that we find, I mean, we can choose our thoughts, right? We can decide what we're going to observe and think. Our emotions based on our thoughts, thoughts being channeled, being, flowing through our beliefs. And as we open up judgment and, this is this, as we define things, it's easy for the thoughts to get filtered down and then turn into emotions. And learning how to control that flow or to understand that flow and to work with that, as you say, words, everything has vibration, everything has frequency, and to be able to choose how we live, how we experience everything, what we do with that. It's an active choice. We can be caught in the stress and the fear and the whatever is scary, or we can take those same experiences and see all the good in it, see all the beauty, and find the art, the creativity, the purpose, value. So
When you talk about all that filters, judgment, I could see a lot of flow chart. How the flow chart work, because I'm a programmer as well. I can see. Anyway, this is just my brain. That's how my brain works as well.
Well, it's DNA, right? It's code. It's a language. It's a structured code.
All the coding,
Isn't that our purpose here? Is to come in and find the bugs in the code and fix them.
And put it out the bug.
And that's our belief system, right? Our belief, our belief has a lot of bugs in it. And as we come back and again through our lifetimes, we have different perspectives and experiences to fix those.
Yes. So we are reversing the code.
Figuring out who we are.
Yeah. So we parent ourselves, which is we have new neural pathway when we do that. Right.
We mess those up pretty good through these experiences. There's a lot of that conflict. And
so when that is a break, so when we break, normally we need to, I'm not trying to say that it's negative, but it is true. We need to break down. So we break through. We need to descend. And then we ascend. The more we ascend, the more we descend. Think about it. So yeah.
Can I add a thought?
So we feel glad. Yeah.
If I feel I'm taking too much time. And
there's no time limit. We have no time, no space here. This is a heart connection. So now I'm bringing to this because I know that we all really connected in this way. And that is also the remembrance coming in a way that we need to break the cycle so that we remember.
So as I look at what you just said about we have to descend to ascend or ascend to descend, or however we look at it, and I apologize, I've never heard that. So I'm thinking through that, but it matches up with some discoveries that I feel I've recognized, or some recognition. Maybe you'll have way more insight than I do about this. Maybe you can add to it, or maybe this will enhance other perspectives you already have. But I remember hearing people talk about resisting versus allowing. And to me, in my logical brain, it was just, that was, learn to allow more than resist. And when people would talk about some negative things, they'd say, don't resist. The resisting is the problem. And I didn't understand what that meant. And maybe these are just different words for the same ideas. But as I've got a big, long story about this, but so I'm trying to condense it. What I'm finding in life is that as our lives our lives here in this experience support resistance. They teach resistance. They teach, that we're fighting. We're and what I see as resistance is that feeling. You can almost feel it as stress, or your muscles. You can imagine pushing against something and resisting. And resisting can be good in the sense of building and creating. For example, going to the gym and working out, and you work on your muscles, and you have resistance training. But there's that process of breaking down. When we resist and we live in that resistance, what we're doing is blocking access to, and I don't know the words for it, but I'm going to call it universal energy. The universe, being able to access the help, the connection with that power that's out there, that all that is. Mm-hmm. If we resist, we lose that connection, and we're on our own. We're alone. When we are able to let go of that resisting, which would be allowing, which feels like what? It's, there's no more tension in your muscles, in your neck, in your brain. That it's a flow. Now you can go back into creation, which may take some resistance, but building it as a flow, as a motion, versus fighting and resisting. That is one of the key principles to accessing what I call miracles or magic, or what changes your life. And as I first started learning this, I would notice, maybe once a week I would see some new miracle happen in my life. Some new thing would be created based on, I guess, the second principle, or the other idea, which is you have to desire something that is for your highest good. Versus, some people, they think the law of attraction just means, oh, I want that new shiny car, or that, a lot of money or something like that. And they go after that, but it's not for the highest good of all, or even for the highest good of yourself. It's not along your path. So understanding your path, understanding the flow, and being able to connect again back with your higher self, or your, what is right for you. If you understand and wish for what is good, number one, and then number two, live an allowing life, living a life where you're allowing instead of resisting. If you can do those two things, the miracles just come and come and come and come. You can't stop them. They just flow. So beautiful, so fun. And so as I look at, you have to, can you tell me again what you said? You have to ascend to descend, or descend to, I can't remember what you said.
Descend first, and then ascend.
Descending has to do with letting go, right? It has to do with allowing. Descend
is peeling off.
Okay, right. Taking off the layers.
Yes.
If it has to do with letting go of resisting, then that seems to be perfectly in line. And then you're connected to all that's out there, and you have all the support in the whole universe, all these dimensions, all these everything. You have access to grow and go anywhere you want. So
you have shared so many nuggets. Like, I can't even remember all of it, but two things that I want to bring into here is, you can feel. You say your neck, your body. That's the first thing. When people stress, they can't feel, especially in your field. In technology world, not a lot of people can feel. So first, you're in a very good shape already. So I was like celebrating you. So that means when you can feel in a way that your heart is opened, it's not shield back. You know the emotion. The emotion is the wave. It's the flow. So you tap into the flow as well. Not only the wording, not only the theory, not only the knowledge. So I know that you're talking about a lot of letting go, allowing. I only can share my experience. I don't know other people, then you probably can feel into that as well. I talk about that a lot, surrendering, allowing. But I find that some certain situations, I was controlling. That is yours, this is mine. So yeah, and then you become like really rigid. And then you become like really, you will feel your energy feel shock. That's how I felt before. It was not not pleasant feeling. Then from there, I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I just opened, no control, and just you say, the miracle come, the information come, the universal energy is the source energy. It's the same. So yeah, so you receive the energies from the highest, purest frequency straight. So I know that a lot of people say channeling the energy. We say we connect because you don't know who you channel, but we know that how we connect through our body, through this vessel.
Easy, right?
And then, yeah. I'm just gonna stop sharing here now because I know that a lot of here, Daisy, Polly, Carly, is a burning sensation wanted to share, especially Daisy. I know she's like,
It's just
Daisy.
so remarkable, Richard. First, how you showed up in our show, it's remarkable. and also your way of seeing life, because like a lot of us is being trained, is like there's a left path, there's a right path, there's the rational path, there's a logical path, and like people tend to feel like they need to hold on to something in order to tap into the filter or whatever idea you want to deliver to them. But you have a amazing way to deliver it in a way that first they felt like for me first, I feel like what I'm resisting to, because they feel like only through resisting I know that is how I learn, but there's nothing I can resist to because it's everywhere, all the download. And then suddenly I feel I'm almost like a spaceship, and then suddenly just quantum jump and popped. You just talk directly to my higher self. For a moment, I don't know where I am or who I'm talking to, or is it speaking English? You have that amazing gift that, because this is a truly amazing gift, because like people need the filter, but sometimes they forgot they need to let go of that. But you have a way of like showing people how to let go at the same time. Like there's no longer need to hold on to any crutch. We can directly connect to our higher self. That's truly remarkable. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone wanted to jump in and share, please jump in and share. So I'm not calling the name, okay? So yeah, if you have any nugget, we all are a piece of puzzles. We all have our own medicine, and it's just going to share and flow, and also the sharing, you know, how we process stuff and all of that. So yeah, Polly and Carly can jump in anytime. So yeah. Anyone? If no one,
thank you, Richard, for being here. Yeah, it means a lot. It's like the miracle of answered prayer. Because I haven't had like supportive like male role models in my life who like understood me or like would even like hold space. Yeah, I was just so used to the wounded masculine. And being around that energy, it was like that catalyst for me to being like, I'm on a journey of like wanting to just shift things. Like I know that life can be so much better than what it was and what I was going through. Yeah, so I would just talk to my guides and surrender as much as I could in the moment. Yeah, but I was definitely scared of the masculine. And like males because of like what I went through. Just with like, yeah, like just everything. Like yeah, not having that supportive space in the way that I needed for me and for my heart. So thank you for arriving home, to our home. This like means so much to me, more than you know.
It's really beautiful to hear. When I don't really know how, I've never thought about this or talked about this, but maybe 20 years ago before this, as I was a really bad husband and father, I was a very controlling person. I was very angry all the time. The world really had pushed me down into this place where I felt like a robot. I never really thought about opening anything up. I was very, very closed. Now, as I was able to start eating more healthy and start, yeah, so it was a change of diet. It was a change of environment. It was a change of thinking. And I had people supporting and helping me. For the first time, I allowed myself to open up to feminine energy, which I had never done. I mean, I could see girls out there I liked. See, again, I don't know how to talk about this. And, I was attracted to the beauty in the women out there, but I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to share. I didn't, I'm a guy. I'm this strong rock, this object. And I didn't know how to soften. As that changed, it took a lot for me to transition to being able to, number one, talk to other women. And I noticed that women were intuitive and they had a certain energy that was very different from other men. And I immediately loved the beauty, the power of that feminine energy, the connections. And when I would turn that around and try to have the same conversations and the same connections with other men, as they would talk about sports or government or politics or comparing, the very low structured, rules and laws and right and wrong, versus the feminine energy, which is just much more creative. And women can see everything. Or I'm sorry, I'm categorizing women and men, but that feminine energy is so beautiful, appreciative. There's so much gratitude, there's so much power, there's so much growth. I see women as angels, and I see men as just these strong, objects that are trying to figure out, like a flower growing, what can be beautiful, what can we grow into, and we try to make these connections. And again, I don't know what I'm saying here, but the connection, the understand, I guess, bridging and understanding both worlds is, or there's a lot more out there to understand and to explore, but that feminine creative energy is amazing. And finding other men who are able to grow towards this creation, it's kind of rare from what I've seen, and it's really cool and beautiful. And it takes a lot of effort to expand, and it feels lonely, it feels difficult. And for a woman to understand a man's energy is incredibly difficult, because we're all so, it's such a different, such a lower, such a, not, it's not about high and low, but it's a more structured, it's very different energy. And so to hear you finding more abilities to connect, I apologize, I'm getting a call. I don't know how to block that. Sorry. I don't know how to. Let me see if I can hang up on this.
I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. That's who built our education. Oops, it's gone.
So
bumped
beautiful. His perspective is so beautiful.
I know. I wanted to say that wait until he's come back. We will welcome him come back, and I know that why he arrived here. That is part of our mission. Our last conversation, feminine and masculine energy, is here now. So yeah. So he has arrived. The masculine have arrived. I'm so excited. We're gonna evolve that masculine. Anyway, Richard, we're gonna be waiting for you to come back. So now we're just gonna say hello, Polly. Hello, Polly.
Hi.
Polly, you can introduce yourself. I know that we already know you, but our audience don't know you yet. So, yeah.
I always find it hard to introduce myself. I don't know what to say.
It's okay. You only have 4 people here. I mean, 3 people here.
So my name is Polly, and I live in Australia, Sydney, like Lillian. So we've known each other for some years, and thanks to Lillian, she brought me to this family, and I also met all these beautiful souls here. And back then, when I was younger, Lillian probably know all these stories already. But when I was like little, I already felt that I was a little bit different from the Earth people. So I felt like I am not like totally human. Oh, Richard is here. Maybe we'll let him continue on that, just so we don't lose, the momentum.
Thanks, Polly.
That's all right.
Hi, Richard. You found your way back.
It took me.
It's okay. Things happen. It's all right.
I'm so embarrassed. We're on a Facebook call, and I got a Facebook video call, and I was trying to use my phone to cancel it, and it wouldn't. And then I thought, well, I can answer and just hang up. And then my audio went crazy, and I apologize. Very inappropriate.
It sounds like you reset the timeline.
That's possible. Jumping timelines is a pretty fun experience. Or we hold on to existing timelines, right? I could kick into another one. I'm like, nope, I like this one. I'm back.
So now I'm going to share with you a few things that I captured from what you said previously. So you were literally talking about masculine and feminine energies. So I know that everybody have that. You have 2 energies in your body. Everybody have those energies in our bodies. And again, I know that why you arrived here today, Richard, because last week, Daisy can share that link with you. We were talking about masculine and feminine energies. Bingo, you got it. So yeah, so why we explore these energies currently, because there's a lot. This is my experience and my analysis, if you want to call it, is there's a lot of feminine rising. You could see it everywhere. The feminine is rising, like divine feminines.
Totally agree.
I dropped that divine because I know that when we talk about feminine, people will refer to female. So yeah, but it's all valid. So I also call it as inner feminine and outer feminine, because there's human in front of you, there's inside you as well. It's reflecting as a mirror, sacred mirror. So yeah. And obviously you will dive a little bit deeper about what sacred mirror means. But what I wanted to mention to you is we are helping masculine to evolve, not rising. Masculine have risen, but pretty wounded. Have you heard the term called patriarchy? So let's say women's in the corporate world want to climb ladder with you. When the role coming up, you apply, I apply. I want to have the same salary with you. And again, that I want to be there. I want to be number one. I want to be more money. I want to be more successful. So we as women become like a man. We have really, really strong masculine energy. And we actually forgot how to feel. We forgot all of that. And it can be frozen and forgotten. Because when we're thriving as internal too much feminine energy, too much masculine energy, we are imbalanced. Men and women will find imbalance. So yeah, they're literally. So we bring into the balance of the masculine and feminine energy. So when you say that there's not a lot of masculine out there can really understand, it's only sports and all of that, because they don't have the role model. And look at your fathers. You guys are provider to the family. You have to provide. You had to climb the ladder because that's how the world works. But now, masculine, feminine rising, feminine rising in a way that a lot of people are doing healing work. The more healing, the more work that we do, we ascend, right? Our consciousness ascending, more consciousness, and masculine, very slow. For my awareness, for my own inner masculine, I park my masculine at the back seat, because I have so much wounded masculine. I love my feminine energy, creativities, flow, magic, miracles. Just like you said, you love that energies, right? So feminine also love the energies. We leave the masculine behind. So we separate ourselves. So huge, many, many years. So when we want to pick up the masculine energy, it's so hard. It's literally really hard because you've been very flowy. What's masculine energies? In this container that you see, when we flow our ideas, we need to land it in a container to make it manifest, to make it actioned. That's what we need both. You can't be flow in and flow out, flow in and flow out, right? Nothing to hold. The masculine creates space, safe space to hold the feminine, so that the feminine can show up even more, feeling safe, expressed in her own body, using the voice. That's why you love to see the feminine flowy. So yeah. Let that land in you today. There's a lot to cover. We have a lot of topic, like every single week we have that topic. But this is how you will see that, we are literally have a mission to live together and masculine and feminine in the balance. We're not ignoring any energies. Together, hand in hand, we move together and we heal together, and the earth, Gaia, we ascend and heal as well. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
There's a lot to learn from there. That rising, that ascension is really learning, right? It's is it shifting energy? Is it higher energy? Absolutely. Is it can you say it's above another? Maybe. I guess. And as you were talking about masculine and feminine, I can't remember if you mentioned balance, but the way you were talking, we have to bring these together, right? And it's balance. And there's a spectrum, and this might be more towards masculine and this might be more towards feminine. But really, in everything in life, these are kind of general categories of we always come into experiences that we're ready for, that we're ready to learn, that are hard and that we get to grow through. And so as we learn through each thing and figure out how to get past the blocks in that energy, the beliefs, and there's so many different tools and methods that we have to go through these. But it's finding balance. I often see the feminine energy, or what I say is as I see women and as I see men. And again, I know that's not a good way to separate it this way, but when I see that feminine energy and the male energy, I always see that these two extremes, we all really have to find that balance. We have to come together. We have to lift. The feminine needs to learn about the strength, and the masculine needs to learn about the eternal, the beauty, the growth, the creation. There's so much to learn on both sides. We have to become more balanced. We have to become responsible creators, right? Because I'm not I know how to create, but I'm not very good at it. And my choices are often kind of off in la la land. They're crazy. They can be detrimental. You know, I try, but I'm not good at it. So each thing along this whole spectrum, we need to practice our skills more and more and more. We have to lift all areas. We each have different strengths and weaknesses. We have to master each of them slowly. We'll get it.
Yeah. I love how you're bringing into that conversation today, because lately this is the last one I'm going to share, because it can bring a lot of conversation, but I will get other people to share as well. Is our body remember? Our body can remember, our brain can't remember. Our brain only that big. Each of our organs in our body, they remember. Our cells remember. We have 80% of water in our body. When you're in the womb space of your mother, you remember.
And this is, I think, what I hear, and this is a theory I'm trying to learn, is that's your DNA. That's the hard drive. That's the storage that comes with you from lifetime to lifetime, or from experience or expression to expression. Is that DNA is the pattern, that's the code that has a few glitches in it, has a few bugs in it, and as we manifest here and have different experiences, we attract all the problems that kind of fit in alignment with those glitches, with those bugs in the program. And our goal is to dive deep into these experiences, each one of these bugs, and see if we can start pulling off the old belief systems, the old patterns, the things that don't work. Try again and again, and from different perspectives, maybe different lifetimes, again and again. So having memory, yeah. And I think that's in the DNA. That's the best way I can describe it. And our goal is to fix all that. And it's hard. It's a lot of work. It's tough to let go of our old belief patterns. It's really hard. That's what we're playing with here, I think.
I love that. You're landed on the right space.
Can I use another word? Instead of fixing, witness.
I was thinking about that. No fixing. The word is just
witnessing unfolding. There's story waiting to be unfold. So we just give it a voice, allow that section to speak out what the story need to be spoken.
That's a much higher way of looking at it. Maybe we have to do both. I think we have to do a lot of the hard work and fixing that takes away when we're down here, uncovering until we discover, yes, we discover who we already are. Yes.
It's called deconstruction.
I heard somebody say it's like we're all grand pianos. We're all these amazing instruments, but then our experience here is like a little child coming and hitting the keys and we don't know how to play. Or you could have a master that sits down to the same instrument and plays the masterpiece, right? It doesn't matter who's playing. We're already this, little pinch of source energy. We're already divine. And so, Daisy, like you just mentioned, we're discovering who we already are. And for whatever reason, we have these problems that we believe that, like a magnet, we attract these same problems and we hold on to them as we discover, as we figure out how to let go and get back into alignment and into this energy. Like as Kyle was opening up and talking about the connection with Mother Earth, with Gaia, as we're able to allow and just let this energy flow, I think we start to see more clearly. Daisy says she's coming off this excitement, this
That's
isn't it?
That's so perfect, because the master is already within. The second you're gonna speak, the second you're gonna take action, is already behind. Is take for our own heart to listen and to attune to that the radio station of that master talk. But there are people, our friend, family, our soul tribe, they're able to recognize. Like, for instance, there could be part of me and telling me, "Oh, Daisy, oh, what's you doing? There's so many doodling math and math everywhere." But there's another part of me, it's like, "Oh, Daisy, that way how you put your finger on the piano, that sound come out, it sounds so miraculous." So it's like it take our own attention. It's like we have so many different channels. We can give attention to that channel or give attention to this one. It's whatever we give attention to, it birthing out new reality and new universe. And we are the master player of that universe.
Yeah, so beautiful. I love this conversation getting richer and deeper. But of course, we have so many of us. We're going to stay until at night. So next we're going to be bringing in Polly. I know that Polly have started, but Richard is away, but I can do it again. Polly. Welcome, Polly, in.
Thank you. I just wanted to say a little bit more about the masculine and the feminine bit, because you guys are talking nonstop, so I don't want to interrupt. Because I don't like to interrupt people when they're talking. And I just wanted to mention that the masculine side and the feminine side actually have the positive side and the negative side as well. So I don't think it is, I know you guys are not, but I'm just putting it out there, that masculine is not a bad energy or feminine is a better energy or anything like that. So again, as what Richard said, we need to have balance, but we'll also have to find the positive side of the masculine and the feminine. So, for example, with masculine, there are a lot of negative masculine energies that are out there displaying in the world, like manipulation and control and stuff like that. And that's not the good masculine energy. So the good masculine energies could be courage and protection, that is to support the feminine and to encourage the feminine. So it's something like the feminine and the masculine they have to kind of work together like this for everything to work. It's just like the yin yang symbol, right? We have the masculine and the feminine side. So I know sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's natural for us to maybe think that masculine, we have too much masculine and it's not good. Yes, nothing is good when something is too much or, too little. But also we need the positive ones to come in as well to balance it out. So that's just my view of that. And
I wanted to share. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sorry,
No,
I wanted to share a little bit, Polly, as you bring into manipulations. So I also come into awareness that in the ancient way, also timeline, in the matriarchal system is also feminine, also manipulate men. So that is coming from that is the original as women actually really pressing down the men as well.
Isn't that
And
funny?
then was that, yeah, it's just like you know, those kind of like, you know, scenarios.
That was at the end of the Lemurian time when the Lemurian fall. and
Yes. So
tribe.
what
That's
Polly
what-
is talking about is the wounded masculine and wounded feminine. So we also need to look at ourselves as what is really wounded in you that you need to heal yourself. I definitely have wounded feminine too. Comparison, competition, envy, jealousy, manipulations, betrayal, rejection. It doesn't mean that masculine doesn't have that. The both energy have that. But in what sort of situation in your life? And sometimes it might not be in this human life. It can be in the past life. And you heal yourself in this human self, in this earth life, earth plane. So yeah. Sisterhood wounding, the brotherhood wounding. But there's a lot of things to share. That's thank you, Polly, for bringing that in. It is really true. Like positive, negative, which is all wounded. Then we have to heal ourselves in all kind of ways. Daisy.
It's sometimes I lose track of, is that the wounded one, is that masculine or feminine? And so I decide I'll just use another neutral term. I just know that part of me is tensed up, is in contraction. So I just tell myself to listen and see what is unfolding, what is waiting to pop open, what portal, what story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because we don't put ourselves, which is my awareness as well, that so many put us this energy in the box. As they say, oh, this is like inside you, you know, this is outside you. And you're trying to think, just like Jason, is it inside? Is it outside? Is it feminine and masculine? You're not so confused. You know. You work on yourself, you know. Then we are here to support. That's all it is. Don't put yourself in the box. We are trying to get out of the box and you jump into the box again. By having conversation, heart connection, it is open the box. Open that box and share. By sharing is healing. Healing yourself and healing others. So yeah.
It's really,
Thank you. Sorry. Yes, Richard.
it's really cute how it's really cool how Polly mentioned something that's just absolutely, I think she nailed it. There's a lot of negative and a lot of positive, but it doesn't matter if you're on the masculine side or if you're on the feminine side, as you mentioned, Lillian. And there's a lot of tools. There's a lot of tools pushing against us, like you mentioned, you know, being in the box. I can't, and not wanting to get out of the box because this is my comfort zone. So there's fear that holds us. There are patterns. There's again DNA. I keep going back to that, but there's family. There's all the things and the memory that we have that is holding us into certain styles and beliefs, and we express that in a lot of negative ways, and that negative actually is what generates enough pain. I always wondered what was the purpose of pain, I'd love to hear your insights too. But you know, what's the you know, we don't want to have pain. We want to be these high, you know, divine beings that never feel pain, right? Isn't that our goal? What's the purpose of pain? And it's really clear. It's really obvious. It's to make us change, to make us move. We need something to move us away from what doesn't work. I guess maybe there's a lot more to this, but as we express this negative, eventually we get tired of it. Eventually we throw up, right? We can't hold it anymore because it's so negative, and we just have to bust out of this style of thinking, and that's when we then allow and we open, we're receptive to more ideas, and we get the opportunity to grow. If we can use our, not just our brains, but our hearts, if we can face ourselves, if we can get to know ourselves better and start to use this wisdom that we're gaining through all of these experiences to figure out what works and what doesn't work, and challenge the selfishness, the greed, the anger, the fear, to strive beyond that. That's when it hurts. That's the work, right? We have to grow, and it hurts, and then we push our way through, and we can breathe. There's new energy, there's new life, there's a shift. So yeah, a lot of masculine energy is very negative, and a lot of feminine energy is very negative. And there's a lot of negative in the world. There's so many illusions bombarding us. We can take it, we can play the game, we can be part of the system and enjoy that game, or we can start to break free of it and up our level, right? Move up to a new level.
Is that from you, Richard? Is that from you? So I know that you see so very clear. And I know that you're doing a lot of healing work yourself. And you're sharing.
So fun. Isn't it beautiful?
Yes. Yes, so fun. That's what I bring the fun in this heart condition, because the more we share, the more we feel like, oh, well, not only learning by each other, but also healing each other. And we actually healing the world as well. So yeah, and fun. Bringing the fun to the journey. It's so needed. Celebrate. Don't celebrate to the end. At the end, there's no destination. It's a journey. Celebrate every single journey.
I want to say that sharing is healing, and this is true in the energy healing world, because there is a part of us not only just to do the inner work, like the hardcore ones, right? But even just sharing and putting things out and verbalizing what you want to share and listening back with your own ears, it's an acknowledgement. And in energy healing world, because I do energy healing, acknowledgement is actually a way of healing. So there is example, I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but when people say that, oh, we have pain in the body or something like that, and we want to go and see a doctor, and you're telling the next person oh, I'm going to see the doctor because I have this, and this in my body. And then all of a sudden you find yourself have less pain. That has happened to me before, and that has happened to the people around me as well. And not just physical pain, but also emotional pain. When you talk about it, so for some reason, the pain seems to have lessened. This is because you have acknowledged something. You bring something from the subconscious to the conscious so that it heals, because you acknowledge it. And that's part of the healing. It's amazing. I really like that kind of healing because it's not hard work, right?
Low-hanging fruit.
Yep.
That's
I can hear that you say more strawberries.
more energy. Yeah, more energy food. This is amazing because like our work, and right now this portal, and also yesterday we discussed about the Chiron in Jupiter, and how what is kind of like amplify what is our wounded aspect, our subconscious mind, because it's Sun, Moon, Venus, and what's the other one? And South Node. They're all in South Node, so telling us to digging in deep into our subconscious mind, what is our karmic pattern, and diving in deep in the part that's wounded, as we are all walking wounded healer, how do we give voice, give acknowledgement, like Polly said, to that wounded part, that begging for our attention? Because even our ego, like the smallest like density of the ego, like no matter how much we suppress it, it still deserve acknowledgement. And think about it, how much he did so much work to bring us here today, and no matter how much we suppress it, it still deserve a word around the table.
And ego has positive and negative too, just so to put it out there, because I know that a lot of people have been talking about ego. Oh, it's not good, it's not good. No, it's good it's there for a reason, and it's not always not good. Everything, like what Richard said, earlier, that everything has a spectrum, and we live in a duality, like the world of duality. Like everything has one end and the other end as well. So we just have to be balanced, and so as for our ego. So ego can be good; it drives us to take actions and to do amazing things. But at the same time, ego can be bad, and it talks us down and drags us down.
It's a tool, right? The ego.
Exactly.
We use it. I mean, it's a computer. It just runs. It's programmed. It does its routine, and it's amazing. It's incredibly capable at doing what it does very well. We have to learn about it and understand it. And if we don't, and if we let it run the programs and control us, if we disappear, kind of go into vacation mode, and we're just letting ego run the show, well, that's not very practical, and it's not very useful. And we don't grow very much from that. We just experience like we're sitting back watching a movie of some drama that's where people are battling back and forth, and we just let the ego go and fight and judge and just follow. But if we're going to participate, we have to work with that ego. We have to understand, we have to bring that eternal aspect, the infinity into the limited. The ego only understands what it's programmed with, what it can see, what it can feel, what it can experience. It can't understand anything greater than that. And it does a great job within the game that we're playing. And so all these experiences, ego handles that really well, except that's not who we are. It's a gift that we're given to use to understand and to play the game with. That's very helpful and very harmful if we use it wrong. Yeah, ego's awesome. We get one of those by having a human body. We get it. We're lucky enough to get one. Yeah.
Hard to control and get the balance. Like I'm still learning to this date.
Also knowing that our brain is like a history. They only remember histories. It doesn't know the future. It doesn't know what is next. It's only know next because you've done it before. If you want to break the pattern to create neural path, we have to create that. So let the ego at the back. Or sometimes we call it ego death. So yeah. I know there's no need to talk again. I know.
I before I share my point, if that's okay, I want to also comment on it's very interesting how our dynamic dialogue unfold, because it's all written in the astrology chart. So the ego mind, which is the lower mind, the 3D mind, is in astrology is Mercury. And so like speaking and constructing the thoughts is all goes through Mercury, this energy. And our higher mind is Jupiter. And this two right now is in opposition. And like I said, Jupiter is in conjunction with Chiron, the wounded warrior. So the Jupiter carry on the mission is telling us, heal, let's take on this mission and heal. And then Mercury is in conjunction with Psyche, asteroid psyche, which is like the human psyche. It's like how much is just played out and telling us, having this dialogue, we can dive in deeper and solve this puzzle within our own human body and journey on Earth. Yeah. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is it okay I share my poem?
Yeah. After you share your poem and then continue with Paul, you need to introduce herself to us. So we get around.
I'm so sorry.
Have I not yet?
Stay until 10 o'clock at night.
How about Polly? You introduce yourself. I can read later.
No, that's okay. You can share if you're in the middle of it.
Give me 1 second.
Maybe Polly, you can continue then. So yeah.
Okay, I'll make it really short. Yeah, so as I said, I've known Lillian for quite a few years, and she brought me to this family. I'm really grateful for that. And just to make it really short, like I was saying back then, when we were waiting for Richard to come back in, when I was a kid, I had a feeling that I was a little bit different from other people, because I feel like I'm from outside of this planet, basically, literally. And my whole life has been really self-aware and kind of keep asking myself a lot of like weird questions since I was a kid, like what's the purpose of life? Why am I here? Life and death questions, all sort of things. And I was a really old soul kid back then. So because I thought so differently, I didn't really have a lot of friends, because I just couldn't see myself fitting anywhere, basically, for my entire life. And even until now, well, I now see a lot of, souls that are, in the same journey as I do. So I'm very grateful for that. But back then it was like really hard for me, especially when, there were a lot of human experiences that were not so great. And then my first 33 years were like a really struggle for me, because of clear and delete. And even though it's really harsh for me, but I was still really grateful for my experiences, because I always think that no matter how harsh your life is, your experiences are, there's always something to learn. It is whether you have the self-awareness or not to take the gem out of it. So it was really, really tough, but it was also my experiences that made me who I am today. So I'm also at the same time really grateful for that. And I think even though maybe I haven't finished learning my experiences, probably not even the past experiences, but by kind of acknowledge that, and also being, having gratitude towards the experiences that I've had, made me a different person. So a lot of times it's more like how you view yourself in different situations. But anyway, in the first 33 years, after the first 33 years, I was like really burnt out, and I decided to find peace. So I got into meditations and read a lot of books like metaphysics, more spiritual books, are more into spiritualities, and I started to know more about energies and God. Maybe not so much about God, but energies, and they're pretty much kind of goes hand in hand anyway. So if you look into energies, you naturally go into metaphysics, and then God, and then all these different sort of things. So I was into meditation because that's where I could find peace back then, and I found a lot of peace in meditations. And then I evolved to the better person, at the same time, my human experiences are still not so great, but better than before. I was trying to get the balance between the two. And then I naturally just got into healing, like energy healing. I felt like there is something that I have to do here. It's to heal, not just to heal myself, my family, but there is some part of me, I feel like I'm here to heal. And there was one time, because since I was young, I kept asking what my purpose is on earth. I didn't get any answers, right? But then in my mid-30s, there was one time that I asked the same question in the shower, and I got that message in the shower. That's probably when you're not really thinking, right? Because you're relaxing and all that, and things started to flow in. And I asked the same question, and then all of a sudden I got this answer through my mouth. I literally spilled those words: save the world. And I was like really shocked in the shower. And I was like, oh my God, what's that? Because I swear I didn't say it. Something came through me and it just moved my mouth, and I said those words. And I was like really, really emotional. I literally cried for like at least 1 hour or maybe 2 hours, because it felt so true to me. Even though back then I had no idea what that means. Like, I'm not a Superman, not a superwoman. How am I going to save the world? But in my heart, I feel so true. It just felt so deep and true to me. And then I got into energy healing because I thought, maybe that's the way that I save the world. But I ended up kind of heal myself more than anyone else, because I feel like there is so much of myself that I have to heal from my past wounds. And and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my life in a really short form. And now that I'm here, meeting different people who are more like me. Back then I was like really just by myself, because I had no one in my real life at all that were like me, think the way that I think. And now that I'm seeing more and more people who are more in tune, in tune with their heart. Not that I'm doing this all the time. Like, I know theoretically a lot of things, but at the same time, I'm also learning how to connect to my heart and not my brain, because I'm also a very logical person. Richard, I'm really headspace. Like, it's everything. It's like around here, always like logic, think, and not just think, but like overthink until I cannot overthink. So I'm also trying to connect my brain and my heart and my gut, like trying to make them align. And I'm working on it. And the more I tune into my heart, the more I feel at peace as well, because you're not controlling. And that's the flow that we were saying, like at the beginning, right? Because the flow is actually the feminine energy, and the logical mind is actually the masculine energy, and the mind is the masculine. Even though the brain has the left side, which is the more masculine, and the right brain is the more feminine. But we have to have the brain, which is the masculine, and the heart, which is the feminine, to be aligned and coherent. And that's how we have to learn how to work with them as well. So that's my story. Thank you for listening.
It's so amazing. Polly, you have an amazing way of speaking the truth. It's like your body speaking through you. There's like vibrating. It's like this is something I'm learning myself, because I share with most of you guys that because my spinal injury and head injury, so it's hard for me to connect with my upper chakra, with my body wisdom. But you have such a way of embodied the body wisdom that's how the healing happens. Because our body is a healing tool. It is a healing, kind of like tuning fork or the hollow bone. And when we vibrate, and you're listening to different part of the body, what that part of the body's vibration it speaks through, and then as you speak through, you heal. And that's the same way. And as you shared when you talk with your doctor, and then there's certain part of the pain heal because you naturally remember this gift. You have this gift many lifetimes. You practice sound healing, and you know it's part of you. And so you are re-experiencing this, and so you can share this with others. And just there's some ways like you're so true. I don't know whether true is the good word to say. It's just so pure, the way pure sense of how to reflect the essence of life and the very medicine and healing of life, of the spirit itself, embodying different part of the body wisdom. It speaks through you as you speak, like even you just by showing up, like speak, and then you just carry these waves of healing wave. I think I shared with you the first time I met you, I saw you just rise up and have this beautiful dress, and the dress itself is like the ocean wave. You just heal like an ocean.
I remember
wave,
that.
oceanic wave. So I always like just I want to see you again, and now you come back. I just feel like, yay, Polly's back.
Yeah. Thanks, Daisy. It's nice to know how other people's perceptions, because what you said I couldn't see in myself, so it's nice to know. Thank you.
My body is vibrating as you're talking. Different part of my body experience that kind of like how like kind of when you're ironing the clothes, it's like ironing different part of my body. I'm feeling healed as you're speaking. Thank you so much, Polly.
So I finally introduced myself in the middle of this entire I don't know what it's called, session.
Has anybody noticed that Kyle has about 1,000 things to say? And he's just been watching. He's been holding everything in.
That's good that you observe that he always have that. So we invite him to come on board to share.
I think there's a lot of depth here that's just waiting to explode. A lot of beauty. Anyway.
Yeah, Kyle,
when he's ready.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. I'll read my poem first.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Let me share. Okay, yes. Can you guys see it? It's called Ode to My Ego.
That's beautiful.
Sometimes you're my wounded pet companion, constantly begging, nagging, demanding for more and more attentions, recognitions, and affirmations. You want to feel okay to be the way you are. You want the whole world to know that your feelings and emotions are valid and real, like a little homeless baby yearning for so much nurturing motherly love, to be whole again and home again. Sometimes you're like a bug in my internal mental space, keeping looping on and on, that one defunct program code of the matrix just won't let go. You gather stories and tears of this lifetime and all past lifetimes, drowning my whole existence from head to toes to prove one unshakable truth: I matter. Until one day you're finally able to feel the higher self's warm golden sun gaze dawning upon us fondly. Of course you matter, my little one. You always matter. You are an inseparable part of my world. I am sending you oceans of sweet roses and unconditional love to make you feel whole again and home again. Because You're never alone. We're always in this together. You will never know how much your creator loves you with so, so much love. So that's my piece. And I also have a short prayer attached to this piece. I'm calling all my wounded egos, lost inner selves, inner shadows, and fragmented soul parts that were trapped in time and space spectrums to fully coming online, to be in connections and unionship with my higher consciousness. I am allowing every part of me, both inside and out, every inch of me feeling relieved, rejoice, deep, heartfelt contentment, healing miracle, and magic in the field of unconditional love. I pray for the alignment of my mind, body, heart, and soul to anchor this forever sacred spin of my crystal light and soul print on earth. Thank you.
I love the poem. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Love you all so much.
I think it speaks really well how ego is not a bad thing because it's just wounded or it's just, you know, screaming for attention, for our attentions. We just have to nurture it. And as Daisy says in the poem, we just have to give love to the ego as well because it's part of us and not to name it, like label it as bad.
It's only bad like a 3-year-old child is bad. It's undisciplined, or it doesn't understand that there's any more. It is alone. It doesn't know that it has a partner. It doesn't know that it can trust something higher that it can't see and can't understand that can support it and become this team effort. It has to be the master because that's all it knows. That's all it can see. And to be able to give it that support and help, say, it's all right. It's all right. We're going to do this. You can trust me on this one. Thank you. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for, for all, look how smart you are. Wow. Good job. Now you got to trust me on this one. Let me take over for a bit. We're going to do things a different way. It's going to be way uncomfortable, but trust me on this. I got you. Yeah.
There's another way to see it. I've seen it somewhere, and I think it's a really good way to kind of practice, I suppose. You can imagine your ego or your chatty mind, right, as a little lizard. It's just a lizard, just, trying to move around and trying to get your attention, and you're like holding it like this, like really little one, and it's really cute. And it's go, oh, don't be like this. You're safe, and you just kind of put the lizard in the palm, kind of like patting it, as if like it's your pet. So sometimes we can do it this way and kind of soothe the ego and not having this chatty mind as well. I find it quite effective for me when I do that to kind of calm my chatty mind too. So it's a good exercise.
Does it ever bite you?
Oh no, I love lizards. Not love, but I don't mind lizards. I've got heaps of lizards in my backyard and my front yard. I go, hello, in the morning when they're like having a sunday.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy. I think recently we one of our friends asked the question about what is ego, what is draconian, what is the and also what is dragon. And to me, like the Dracos is kind of like part of the lineage of the dragon. It's like just the higher self, the lower self, and we all have a different DNA lineage. By healing our ego, we also heal that part of the collective lineage as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kyle, are you ready to share?
Yes, this is like a huge night, honestly. And receiving, it's like from 19, like from when I was 19 to now 33, it's like everything that I've been looking at and like healing and diving deep. Yeah, it's just, yeah, putting it in words. Yeah, so from when I lost my father when I was 3 to then losing my stepfather when I was 19, it was like the catalyst from like not having like the father figure and the father figure that I needed. And yeah, traveling through all the stages of grief and all the emotions of the ocean and like working on the father wounds and that father wounding. But it was like being more in that, it was like I found safety in the feminine. It's like what the feminine raised me, was always supportive and nurturing. And my connection with Mother Gaia, Mother Nature, Mother Earth as one, has been like my support, like my inspiration to keep going, and like that connection to nature. And it's just been so beautiful to just like Mother Gaia's been always there. Like she never let me down. It was like almost seeming like the feminine never let me down. And I like could trust in her. And I know it was gonna be okay. But I didn't have like the masculine in my life to like hold me, to like hug me, to say that like my father saying like that he loves me. I never like heard that until like the day before he passed. Which gave me like closure a little. But it's like it didn't make up for all those 11 years with him. I was terrified of him. And I would just like talk to my mom. And we would both go through the same thing. I honestly didn't think I was gonna make it past my 19th birthday. Because I was so stressed. But I made it. And I'm so proud. It's like from all those years of healing, like surrendering and like journeying with the heart, letting my heart soften and melt. Has just been just like that gateway into the Sacred Heart Valley to just help me fully like be vulnerable, to be seen, held, heard, and loved in the most beautiful and nurturing way ever. So it's like now I get another like start on life, like that rebirth. And you all helped me to rebirth and helped me to remember and to become whole and complete. It's that remembrance and the opening of the heart and allowing myself to be vulnerable. Because I had to just be so strong my whole life. As a child, I had to be like that father and like that caretaker. I didn't want to do that anymore. Couldn't even be a child. So now it's like learning to just tune into my inner child and to play again and to know that I'm safe. And that like it's okay to take up space in the world. And you, Richard, arriving. It's like Lily, it's like that healing we did the other day with that like return, how like the masculine like energies and like archetypes and aspects were returning my golden heart to me. And all that support that we've experienced through that journey. And now it's like manifested through like Richard being here. Thank you, Richard, for being here for all of us and to be like that soul brother and like that father figure for me. Thank you.
Kyle, I recognized myself in you when we were talking before. I kept looking at your face and I saw everything that I went through starting 20 years ago. And I saw the processing in the brain as you're going through your memories and you're reliving every aspect and then hearing something and comparing it and hearing something else and comparing it. And you have so much to say. You have so much to say. You are so full of light and expression and emotion and love, and everything is just moving through you. And you have all the memories of the conflicts and the struggles and the fears and the pain, everything that I guess we all go through. But yours is, I guess we all have certain roles, right? There's father and son, a father role, a son role, a teacher role. There's all these different roles that we live to experience certain types of things. And as you're going through this and now resolving it or going through the process of closing that out and understanding, you have, sorry, I don't know what to say. You have so much to do. You have so much to do. You have so much to give. And it's moving. It's so beautiful. And yet it can be so stuck because the world is not supporting of you sharing this. Nobody listens. Or nobody listens at the right time, or nobody acknowledges and is aware. And I went through that, and it hurts. It hurts so bad. And I can't tell you that I really know how it feels for you. I don't have those same experiences the way you're going through them. But I know that I can see it opening. And there's a lot to do. And oh, keep going, keep going. and keep working here in your mind. Let these things grow, resolve them, bring them, ask deep questions again and again, deeper questions, deeper questions, deeper questions. Find where your base is, that love, that connection to feminine energy, to Mother Earth, to all that supports you. But like we said before, there's positive and negative, and all that you may be latching on and holding on to things that you can't let go of because that's been your support. And you're going to have to grow out of that and find why to let it go, not just how to let it go, but why to let that go. And what's better, or you look out into the universe and there's emptiness, and it's easy to hold on to what we're familiar with, what we loved. And then we get ripped away, and there's the loss, and we're stuck with memories that we can't let go of. And I guess the only path is asking deeper and deeper questions and just working through it, knowing who we are. But I loved watching your head. It's like I could see into your brain as everything's moving. It was so cool to watch. You're amazing. You're so full of love.
Earlier Richard asked us whether, like, what's our take on the concept of pain, right? And I think it's the right time to share now, after listening to Carl. To me, pain, if you put a lot of attention to pain becomes suffering. And pain is at the same time also beautiful, because it's your body telling you, and not just the physical body, because we have many bodies, right? We have especially the physical and the emotional bodies, which we kind of experience the most. And the beautiful part of pain is that it allows us to experience the pain in order to find the other side of the pain. And that's why when we suffer, so-called suffer, say, for example, I talked about my 30s, my time before 30s, I had a lot of tough experiences, and so as Kyle. If not because of the pain, we cannot become the people we are today. And Kyle is a very unique male because he has a lot of the feminine and the masculine divine energy in him because of the experiences that he has gone through, because of the lack of masculine in his life. He embraces the divine masculine in him now. And if it's not because of the lack of the masculine in his lives, he wouldn't have been this, the embracing this energy in his body and supporting feminine. Like how many males out there support feminine energies and support females as just like Kyle? There's not a lot, because they don't have the experiences Kyle has experienced. And we also have to have self-awareness in order to transmute that pain into a gem. And that's what Kyle has done. And that's why I really appreciate him every time when we see him among all the females within the groups, because he's always holding the space for us as a male. And that's what pain is, if you want to look at it in a glamorous way, right? But at the same time, it's also the truth is that it helps us grow, it helps us to be a better person, it helps us to see the diamond and the gems of life by not having it in the first place. And this is how we grow. And I think the reason why there are so many people who can grow into a very mature, person full of wisdom is because they have experienced all this lack and all these tough experiences in their lives first before they actually can transform. And if you're all good the whole life, how can you experience that? How can you become the person you are now? And that's why when I introduce myself, I say, okay, I've experienced so much in the past, but I'm still grateful because I can see the lessons that I am here to learn from the experiences that I've experienced. And that really needs self-awareness and really take the good bits in the tough bits from the tough bits, and really you embody those parts into you. And so that's my interpretation of pain. And pain is beautiful. And once you've learned it, your pain will lessen, because it no longer will be pain. It will be wisdom.
I'm truly at awe and bowing to all your inner work that you have done, Polly, just through your like delicate way of breaking down. Like my body just feels so healed. There's a deep part of me that cannot be touched just through your vibration, purely, just like not single cell got left out, like every single one just got touched by love, by your healing light. I'm just so grateful. Thank you.
Honored to share it here, and thanks for inviting me to this meeting. It's lovely. Thank you.
Daisy, you want to share? Introduce yourself.
Oh, I mean, originally I want to talk about pain, but Polly talk about it so beautiful. I felt like I don't have a word to say. I feel complete. My life is complete.
Well, Rich, I want to know who are you first. So yeah.
Okay. When Polly was sharing about her life, I just want to say that I resonate. That's pretty much me too. The way how you described that, what you experienced, I felt like my life was unfolding in front of my eye. I just feel so much healing. It just feel like so resonate. Like a cookie cutter. Like, oh wow, you experience life just like what I experienced. You digest pain just like what I digest. You digest all those like dark night of the soul just like how I breaking it down. It's like so amazing, but you do it even more beautifully, and just like wow. And I just feel so much healed. Like I revisit my life, but at the same time I break it down and heal every single piece and put it together. It's just like amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Poppy.
This is so fun to be in a group where people can feel energy and who can pay attention to, like Daisy, like you said, every cell, every part of your body, and probably other dimensions of your body that are just, so you can feel and you can apply, you can take information, wisdom, you can see how to choose higher, how to, I guess this is growth, right? This is the process of changing, seeing better ways. It's always, it takes a lot to ask deeper and deeper questions, but it's fun when so much amazing information is presented and it just Yep, that's good. Yep, there's another aha moment. Yeah, there's some more truth, some more value, some more purpose, something to make the pain go away a little bit easier, something to help shift. It's fun being around so much amazing light. So yeah, thanks you guys. I hope this boosts your egos.
Oh, she feels so good. Either she or he feels so good today.
But we're doing well, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's nice.
I also want to highlight, Richard, you have a amazing way, kind of like childlike bubbles of joy, but at the same time using some kind of magnifier, like amplify that joy. Like you're not missing any drop of joy, that joy or light that you see. You just come and zoom and just shining it to everyone. It's like, wow, another universe, let's play. That's how I feel your energy. So amazing. Thank you.
It's easy to do, by the way. It's just choice. A while ago when everything was so painful, and when I hit, what do they call it, rock bottom, when I hit bottom and had to give everything up, and was there for a while, it was, I don't know, the idea just came to mind to try to find the good in everything. See good somewhere, whatever the pain is, try to find the good, try to see beauty over here, try to find value in something. When something's terrible, when there's a problem, there has to be a reason for it. My brain wouldn't give up on that. There has to be a reason. And somebody mentioned something at one point that said that, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it feels good. In every problem is embedded a solution. There's always a blessing, or there's value in every problem. So no matter what the problem is, no matter how terrible it is, within that code, that structure, that whole terrible, whatever we're judging it to be, is a gift. And it's contained within the problem. And if we don't figure it out, then we lose that opportunity, and we'll experience things different ways until we finally are at a very painful place, and we kind of have to grow through that problem and eventually find the gift, find the solution. And yeah, the miracles all just came when they come to, when your vibration attracts. I don't know what it is. When you see good everywhere, when you, for example, the highest vibration that I can imagine, it's not love, it's gratitude. And I know there's different definitions of love, and that might be, really the highest from something that maybe I can't quite comprehend. But what I can understand as a person, as a human here, is gratitude. And if I find gratitude, no matter what I don't have, no matter how painful it is, if I can find a reason to be grateful for every situation, and if I can see the good in everything, in anything, whether it's, somebody killing somebody, I can now understand that a person might be living their life in such a terrible way that the best thing that they know how to do is fight, and they might kill somebody. And I'm like, well, that's bad. But if I can see the reasons that people make choices, if I can see, like, I can see all the way through every negative situation is born out of creativity, of trying to push, everything has value, everything has purpose. And by just standing back and finding that, I don't know, maybe it became easy for me. Maybe I'm lucky that that's easy, but I find the good. And then it's not just finding good in the bad, it's finding the beauty that just shines and shines and shines. And there's nothing wrong. There's a lot that needs to be improved, but there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. And yeah, everything's light, everything's energy. It's cool. It's fun. So Yeah. Yeah.
So amazing, Richard, when you're talking, like my body just having the energy just channeling through, like it's like so many neurons just get so excited and boiling and bubbling. When you share that, it remind me of one of the story one of my teacher shared. Like his friend in New York City, and during one evening, and someone put a gun behind him and said, now empty your wallet and like give me your valuable item. And then he gave the wallet and gave his gold watch. And then the guy said, now turn around, because I'm gonna kill you. And then he said, you don't have to kill me today. You're doing good. There's $700 in the wallet, and the golden watch, you can easily turn around and sell it for $1,000. You can just go back home, tell your body, you did good today. Pat on your back, you did real good today. And then the guy, he repeat to himself, oh, I did good today. I don't have to kill. And it's just like miracle, just walked away.
It's a good story. It's hard for people who are stuck in patterns of violence to just go, oh, I get it. Because like we can't go from the low rung of the ladder up to, we can't take one step up to the top rung, or we have to go one step at a time. We have to grow through, degrees, but it's so powerful how light. Were you guys talking about Merkaba, I think, in that other video, and that there's a protection, right? There's energy that just as we hold a certain vibration, it kind of seems like nothing can touch you, right? The negative just doesn't come into your experience because you're busy doing positive things. Now you're going to keep growing and seeing the challenges and problems along the way. You're going to keep having challenges, but once you graduate 3rd grade or 5th grade, or high school senior or college, you don't go back just because you really liked your teacher in 3rd grade. You can't keep living in 3rd grade. You kind of have to keep moving forward, and as you master the 3rd grade concepts and principles, we don't have to stay there. We kind of need to keep moving. And so as you learn higher light and wisdom, talents, gifts, as you become more responsible, the 3rd grade stuff kind of goes away, I think.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I feel this a lot too, and that's why I'm like readjusting the way how I approach my body. When I see pain, I don't see it as something bad. When I see there's some kind of stuckness or negative pattern, I don't see it as bad. I see it, oh, there's another project for me to look at. Let me listen. What's the sound? What is the vibration, or what story it want to tell me? And usually, sometimes I listen to it, it has some kind of sound tone, and I can almost play a music instrument and finding, oh, what kind of vibration, what kind of instrument they wanted to play together, because they carry a vibration, almost like a different kind of a music box, play out different sounds, just want to have someone to listen to vibrate together. So in that way, that part of my body that have pain, that part of my body has stuck pattern, through myself healing that part of me, I heal my lineage, I heal my family. Yeah. And which is like perfect, because the portal yesterday we talked about, it is about that collective healing, the South Node, collective karmic looping pattern or ancestral healing. We are just perfectly, we're doing it today too. Yeah. and doing it tomorrow too with my birthday party.
I was just going to say So Richard, you're invited to attend the very first party that we host, and that's for Daisy. And we have theme. You have to come with you have to dress up. It's the indigenous ancestors. So
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, they'll bring any tools, instruments, like whether colors, or bring your food, bring your snacks, bring your drinks, whatever your time zone is. So yeah, just it's a BYO, okay? BYO party. BYO. You want a wine? Bring your wine as well. Bring your beer as well. Oh, welcome. So yeah, we will do journeys. So bring your, if you are coming, we're welcome. We really wanted to see you. And you bring your, is any notepad or pencils, color pencil. Normally we will end everything in with creativities. So yeah.
Yeah, I finished my whole portfolio during the short period with all of our events together. All those paintings are all painted during our events, right? Lilian? And you too, right? Everybody paint.
Yeah, everybody paint. Everybody really cool. Whatever you start, when you have that inspiration coming, still listening by your painting, and all that painting that Daisy shows is encoded by everybody's wisdom.
Like I burst them almost like in the month, like a whole bunch of them.
Daisy, you know what? Thank you for showing that, because tomorrow you're gonna display all of that. You're gonna explain all of that. So we'll receive your medicine too.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Thank you. It's a collective vibration. Whenever we come together, it's like this. Non-stop creativity.
Yeah, non-stop. Just to be aware, non-stop. It's seriously non-stop. We can talk hours. But we have to be aware of the time as well. So yeah. So I get it. It is my turn to introduce myself. My name is Lillian, and I'm just a normal people, normal human that I trust. I simply just trust my own path by walking with the unknown. Then I open up the Sacred Heart Valley or embody Sasi, whatever you're coming from. Richard. So yeah, we have like 6, 7, I think 6 at the moment communities. The Sacred Heart Valley is a valley. So you come into the valley, there's community 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just visualize that. So we consist 6 communities, and each communities have pillars. So I call it as conscious leaders. The cow is Gaia's heart temples. Conscious leaders. Daisies and body star seeds, conscious leaders. And I am playing around with them. I'm literally a player. I'm always having fun, always co-create. If you have ideas, just tell me today. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just asking you to introduce yourself. Look at it. Conversation. That's my jam. I just throw the question to you guys, and that's it. My circle is that. Always like that. So yeah. So a little bit about myself. 20 plus years in the corporate world. As I'm not gonna mention it, how's the corporate world. You all know how it works. And then had spiritual awakening 3 years ago. This year's my 3rd year. And by trusting the unknown, and instead of seeking, I just stay in put, and the soul can just come. And with the same soul vibration, I can share, just see the people that I know. So Daisy and I, we know last year. We did a couple of programs together, but we never, I say hi and she say hi, and we never talk at all because we are separated by different sisterhood, and we journeyed about, a year program. So we were very busy doing our inner healing work. It's only this year, only this year that we just suddenly, and suddenly means that we meet each other online again, and we recognize each other. And then we have a chat. And that's where we recognize that the first chat, 6 hours, 6 hours straight. We're talking about Egypt. We're talking about all the instruments. Talking about I was harassing all the activations. Okay, Daisy, what is it? So we all just sisters chatting. So we just I recognize her as she's a piece of puzzle of me, and vice versa. There's a lot of sacred mirroring. So I learned a lot from Daisy, a lot of wisdom from Daisy. Yeah. And also with Polly, 3 years friendship. I mean, probably more now, but I know that in these 3 years, we did not meet at all. And one day, I sent a message to Daisy, and I said to Polly, we need to catch up. So when we catch up, when we buy the bill, it's 1111. And when I met her, as I'm conscious, I'm already conscious human, and I met Polly, I was like, oh, I recognize her as well. And then she arrived, and she journeyed deep. So yeah. And then with Kyle, it's also someone that I already know, that before the Sacred Heart Valley opened, we met on social media. As in, I have open day 1 and 2 and 3. So I was welcome people into the valley, to the community, let's say. And he was the first person to say hello to me. So yeah. And he brought into the very fairies energies. So yeah. Initially was we all journey with the fairies, new earth. We'll have fun. So much fun. So we evolve. So yeah. So that, for me, I provide a very safe container to people with my smile. It just be myself. So I'm very true. When I say things, I will cry. If I say anything funny, I will laugh. And I'll play a joke as well. My wisdom comes from the air, from the source. So yeah. If you want to know, Richard, who I really am, I know your mind is because I can see you, I can hear you, I can feel you.
You're an elemental, right? You're a little fairy floating around. Do you understand? You see everything.
Yeah, ding, 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 the dust.
Spreading your fairy dust. Yes.
So yeah, so that is me. I don't have a title. I do have many, many titles, but you will get to know me if you come closer to me. That's my invitation to you.
I'm so honored you have welcomed me in. And I'm so grateful for Daisy for letting me be, connect here, and then suggesting, oh yeah, come. I was saying, Daisy, would you like to talk a little bit? I'd like to get to know, you're very, very interesting. Some of your ideas and philosophies, and I saw a lot of her different posts and comments and things. Like, this is fascinating. This is really interesting. Yeah, Richard joined tonight. Okay. And it just felt good. It felt right. So I wasn't nervous, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to fit into this. What a family.
That's the reason in mind.
Thank you for
if you
welcoming.
allow yourself to be welcome in. I mean, just join the party and have fun. Just like tomorrow, we're gonna join the birthday party. So yeah. So we're not gonna do a lot of. I mean, in this heart is. I know that you always have these conversations. It's gonna be really long, but it's always very deep. This initially heart connection is the people get to know me, because I'm sometimes invisible. People know me. People don't know me. But I thought that just make it a little bit intentional. So what is to do? What's needed? So yeah, so you has arrived. You hear the voice, you watch us. And tomorrow you're going to the party. So yeah,
I'll see if I can I'll try to make it. Is it same time? Same Zoom link?
I can't remember. It's same Zoom link.
It's 7 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. So it's 1 hour late.
I
Right.
may or may not be able to make it. I can't commit right now, but I'll see how tomorrow works out. If not,
It's okay.
I can just say
Mm.
"Sangre Kwaila."
Oh, thank you. We have a lot of events. We can always
Yeah.
over and over again, like lifetime
Mm.
after lifetime.
So
Yeah. So there's no, like, as I said, that all the Sacred Heart Valley's event is always in the flow, is always joy and peace, the feeling to the heart. Sacred Heart Valley is to invoke you to return home, to your heart space, to remember who you are.
that's what we're here to do, isn't it?
That's it. Thank you so much for your presence. Truly healing for every single one. And thank you, Volley, for open up and share our witness to me. So initially, when I would just want to read this one in, when Holly and I we first met, I know that she's special. And she shared with me a lot of ghost stories. I love to hear it. Behind the door. Some energies. And then I was like, I don't understand what this person is talking. I'm not energy person. I'm not nothing. It's just normal human. But I listen with no judgment. I didn't like, the hell is he talking to you? I can't see her. Okay, so clear delete. The hell. So, but as I would just admire how she talk is like, just like what Daisy said, the vibration, but I didn't pick it up. But today I picked up because I haven't heard Polly talking for so much. I'm the one who always do the talking.
I don't usually talk.
Yeah, I know, but today this is wow, I love it. I love it, Polly. So no judgment, no ego, but I just receive what her experience is. So not until my awakening, until which is what the first meeting after awakening is only a few weeks ago. Then I sort of I feel her. So yeah. And then we've seen so many 1 1 1 1 4 4 4 4. Last night we see 2 2 2 2. So yeah, it's a lot of confirmation in another word. So we all here have a mission. We all here save the world. We have our own mission. We have our own path. We just need to recognize that and find out. So for that saying, if there's nothing else we wanted to share more, we're gonna close the circle.
I can read one more poem.
Of course.
Yeah, it's called Life After Life. Life after life. For all the interwoven past life stories and karmic ties of memories, just to better prepare us for this present moment's first encounter to join spirits with each other. One side, a million years, white pigeons flapping wings, soaring high and low, hovering around us to celebrate every miracle we have successfully unwrapped in this lifetime. We congratulate each, the roads that led us joining our effort of energy together, and the paths that we each has walked upon eons of lifetime and space of such a beautiful soulful journey. We are so grateful for every spirit and soul being that had guided us to today, and that we learn together within the self such a certainty of knowingness for all the mutual past lives intertwining lifetime stories. We're all just magnificent rhythmic rehearsals to help us gathering, remembering, celebrating, and better preparing for this life's chances to reunite with each other over and over again, rejoicing, rewriting our lifetime story again and again and again. Thank you.
Thank you, Daisy.
Thank you
I
so much.
love Daisy's creativity.
It's a healing balm. Trust me, it's always a healing balm. But she has to read it. That's for me. So yeah.
Thank you.
Mm.
Does Kyle want to close the circle for us?
Mhm.
Yeah, I would be honored to close the circle. So thank you everyone for connecting your hearts as one and just weaving the healings and the blessings, the gifts and the miracles. Amen to that. We thank our ancestors, our guides, our guardians, the caretakers of the land in which we reside, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, for just being in the sacred space with the highest and the purest frequencies, to just bestow so many blessings and gifts and the miracles. And the extensions of us and the love that we are, as we are all one. Just remembering that the heart always guides the way, the heart leads the way, the heart always knows. And just shining our heart with that love and that light that we are upon the entire world, and helping others to remember their heart. Their heart is home, and it's time to return home to the heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessed be. And so it is. And the circle is now closed.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.